Good morning. I am so excited today because we're sharing on the topic I started on Monday. Um, and I'm calling this series this week the Powerful Parenting Curriculum of the COVID-19 Quarantine. That's a mouthful, I know. But in a nutshell, the powerful curriculum naturally occurring in our situation of being quarantined. And what I love so much is when you, over time, learn a secret to life that unlocks so much good for other people, for yourself, and for others. And this one, I mean, I've dedicated a good portion, at least a chapter or more of my book, my parenting book, No Ordinary Child, to this topic that we're covering this week. I went off topic yesterday and just did an exhortation. You can check that out on my Facebook page. I'm posting all my lives to my Facebook. But today, I want to continue with a reminder that grit, okay, this is about your kids. Grit is a better predictor of their success in life, in happiness, and in the workplace than what's in your wallet, what school you go to, what the level of intelligence is, or what the level of their talent is. Talent is so overrated, and these are all scientifically, statistically proven, and I can't go into all that today. You can watch Mondays to get the backstory, but grit is defined as perseverance. Ouch, that word, that hurts. Perseverance and a passion for long-term goals. Okay, listen to that again. Grit, that perseverance and passion for long-term goals, is a better predictor of the success and happiness of your child, both in life and in the workplace, than talent, intelligence, or money. Income of the parent that's raising them is what I'm trying to say. So, let's talk about talent for a minute. When I was doing tons and tons of children's ministry, like this was like 30 years ago, right? I was doing children's churches and Sunday school classrooms, and we had a guy who was amazing at puppets. I mean, he could have easily been one of the puppeteers on Sesame Street. He could do every voice. He was so effective with his movements. He was gold, right? Talent screaming from every pore, but you couldn't get him to show up. I'd have him on the list. And then he wouldn't show, and I'd have to do some kind of spontaneous thing. I had super long hair, so I'd turn myself into Sister It from the Addams Family and do scriptures. I'd do whatever it took because he would not show up. All right. Talent is universal, and our culture's so caught up. I mean, how many people share? Check out this 10-year-old prodigy on the violin, right? Listen to this 12-year-old girl sing. Woohoo! But that's not good enough if there's not perseverance and passion for long-term goals, right? Right. So forget talent. It's not an issue. Matter of fact, everybody has talent. And I'm going to read to you something from one of my favorite authors, John Taylor Gatto. He wrote the book Dumbing Us Down. It's about this thick. It'll just crush us, but it's so beautiful and wonderful and an easy read. And he just passed in 2018. He's one of my heroes of education. He was Teacher of the Year he in New York City public schools, and he taught for 26 to 30 years. And then he did an about face and began to write about how the system is breaking our children down, and how much it's the system works against our children embracing and learning and growing. And he's a wonderful, wonderful writer, and you would love that book. But he said this. He said, during these 26 years of teaching in the New York State schools, I've come to believe that genius is an exceedingly common human quality, okay? Probably natural to most of us. The unlikeliest kids kept demonstrating to me at random moments so many of the hallmarks of human excellence: insight, wisdom, justice, resourcefulness, courage, originality. As much as he had to say about the system, he saw the gold in those children, and he knew they all had talent. They all were wired with genius to be great, to be amazing, to be extraordinary. And that caught my heart so much, and that was a big part of my child rearing, and drove me and motivated me so much when I wrote my own book. But Remember, grit is a combination of perseverance and passion for long-term goals. And perseverance defined out of Webster's, you know how I love words, persistence in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. This is perseverance. This is what your kid has. If your kid has this, she's gonna be awesome, all right? A persistence in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. And that's why I'm saying right now during quarantine, during COVID-19, whatever we're labeling this thing we're all going through, it's built in. Delay is built in, right? Difficulty is built in. Achieving that difficulty in achieving the success that we want right now in areas of our life, and you can name them, it's built in. It's automatically a life lesson that if we use this time with our kids, with our grandkids, it can help to build in them perseverance that is so key for their success. And we don't want to stand in the way of their success, right? This is just something that is so real to me after raising 5 boys over 30 years, okay? And I want to remind us of James, okay? What does James 1:2-4 say to us? Consider it pure joy. Do this with your children. Consider it pure joy today that it's Groundhog Day and we woke up again and everything's closed and we're all home together and we're going to get through it, right? Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds. This is just one kind of a trial. Real life is hard. It's full of trials. I don't know about you, but when I look back at the history of my life, there's more hard than easy. That's just the way it is, okay? Because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. This testing time, the 7 weeks we've been in this quarantine, mandatory home education, perseverance, the opportunity for perseverance is built in, right? The testing of our faith produces perseverance. This is the beautiful part. Let perseverance be aborted. No, that's not what it says. Let perseverance be wiped out. No, let perseverance be softened. No, let perseverance finish its work, complete its work in our children and in us, so that we may be mature and complete, lacking nothing. Now, wouldn't that be the way to send your kid out into the world, lacking nothing? Absolutely 100% complete. No doubts, no fears, no questions over their head, no anxiety, because they are ready. See what I mean? This is true. This works. So use this time for this. Mine the gold in this time, okay? To allow that perseverance muscle to be built. Okay, and Angela Duckworth, the gal that we talked about on Monday, said this: enthusiasm is common. Endurance is rare. We know a lot of excited kids, right? Woohoo! Everything's good. We can do this. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start this. We have a lot of starters and not a lot of finishers. Enthusiasm is common. Endurance is rare. How do we define endurance? The fact or power of enduring an unpleasant or difficult process or situation without giving in. Ooh, don't you love a kid like that? Heck no, I'm not quitting. Heck no, I'm not stopping. Heck no, I'm not giving up. I might tweak it, I might pivot a little bit, but I'm getting there, right? I love that. That is so powerful. Endurance is rare. Okay, let me read that again. Endurance defined is the fact or the power of enduring an unpleasant or difficult situation without giving way, without giving in. And the giving in. And you know what the good news is? You think, oh, my kid's lazy and, lazy, distracted, undisciplined, spoiled, rotten. Well, that's your fault. But we've all messed it up, right? I've made so many mistakes. I'll talk about those too. But what I'm saying is what the statistics show us and the studies that Angela Duckworth studied, and she was actually really surprised and curious about this because she knew the fact that endurance and perseverance were going to set your kid up for success. But she wasn't sure if it could be cultivated in any human. But after years of study, and she, like I said, she nerded out on this grit thing, she determined by her studies, by facts, that this can be cultivated in your child, in any child. I have I know people that have adopted foster children and transformed their whole paradigm, shifted everything in them, cultivated a new way of thinking, believing, doing. It's possible. And that's a beautiful thing. That it can be, that's the good news, that it can be cultivated. Now, what I see around me in America and probably many first world countries is that many moms and dads are delusional, okay? The lens through which we see life, we are our only point of reference. And so we think it's so hard. And so many moms out there, and I love you moms, and I'm a mom, and I've been a mom for almost 40 years, and I get it. The tedium of the day, the I get it all. The teething and the sleepless nights and the rebellion and, on and on and on and on. The weariness can make you want to whine. But as you whine, okay, that emotional contagion gets on your kid and then they're whining and life is so hard and my life sucks. And moms especially want to make every day a party, okay? Let's get Junior another treat. Let's get Susie. You hear what I'm saying? If you're like me, that's really, at the end of the day, was one of the things I had to fight against the most. I wanted my kids to be happy. I wanted our house to be happy. Well, happy is a lie. Happy is based on circumstances, and happy is unrealistic. Content is a better word. Happy is determined by circumstances, and you know what? So let's just keep this party going, right? Let's just buy another candy. Let's just buy another Frappuccino. Let's just rent another movie. Let's just buy another toy. And you know what? That's the antithesis of building endurance and perseverance in our children, as we well know. If you and I always paid attention to everything we want to be happy, we know that's not reality as an adult. Why are we setting our children up for absolute failure? Why are they crashing and burning on TikTok? Okay? Why are they walking through life without purpose or meaning or passion or perseverance or endurance? It's because we are engaging in indulgence. Indulgence, to me, as I see it, and I dedicated a whole chapter of my book to indulgence, is the biggest form of parenting by modern parents today. Indulgence. Just open the door to any kid's room and all the love comes pouring out, right? Apple Watches and iPhones and plastic surgery and sushi and Frappuccinos and bad friends and bad movies and too many games and too many clothes and too many expensive clothes. And you know what I'm saying? So let's be careful. Let's not just be careful. Let's make a shift during this time. We can't make our kids happy. We can't make every day a party. This is real life. Let them glean the gold from enduring this delay, this pause, this disappointment. Many, 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 many disappointments right now. Let it burn. Identify with them. Talk to them. Understand, hear their hearts, agree together that this isn't easy, but this isn't living in a box in India or not having clean water in Africa or being starving in the Sudan. I mean, this is a different kind of heart. This is a modern heart. We can do this. Okay, so I just want us to be careful. The antithesis of building endurance and perseverance is dopamine hits, all right? It's that thing that you feel when you get on Facebook and you see 67 likes on that picture and your heart goes aflutter, right? That was a dopamine hit. Zuckerberg has you nailed, right? He knows what you want. You want everyone to like that picture of little Susie or the meal you just made. I'm sorry. This is so funny. But this misery that's naturally built into this situation right now, the low level misery that's simmering under the surface, let's use that rather than dopamine hits, because dopamine hits are not going to help our kids. Okay, so we need to start young. And one of my favorite authors, and I talk about her, and she's a neuroscientist and a cognitive neuroscientist, and she writes everything she writes. It's wonderful because science proves God true, right? That's what I love too. She says this: to teach endurance, all right? We want to teach endurance and perseverance to our kids at a young age. She is a best-selling author and cognitive neuroscientist, and she says childhood is a particularly crucial time for the brain because neural sculpting is at its lifetime high. Whew, I got goosebumps on that one. Childhood, you look at that little one and you think, oh, he's just another kid that goes to daycare. He's a kindergartner. He's a toddler. this is so powerful. See, parents think, oh, we'll just drop them off at daycare. They won't notice I'm gone. You know, somebody's got to babysit them, change their diapers. No, friends, this is major. This is an all-time high when your child is this little youngster. Neural sculpting, that's shaping, fashioning, forming. It's the wet cement in that little one that you have the privilege of getting your handprints all over. You have the opportunity to take that Play-Doh and make it look like what you want it to look like. Wow, that's a powerful, 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 powerful power, Mom, Dad. We are God's offspring. Same, he has that creative power to create us and form us and fashion us and shape us like potters on his pottery wheel. He's given us that same power for our children. Wow, that's scary power. All right, childhood is a particularly crucial time for the brain because neural sculpting is at its lifetime high. Many of our abilities, tendencies, talents, and reactions are hardwired. Oh, I want to yell. I'm yelling at myself. In childhood, hardwired in childhood. What are you wiring your child to be? What are you hardwiring your child to be in childhood? And they will set a mental stage for adulthood. That is so much power right there, friends. We could stop right there and say, parents, it's up to us. But that's tomorrow's segment I'm going to share. You know, there was a really cool study done in the 70s at Stanford University when they were still doing common sense studies, right? Now it's all about, how long you can stand on one foot or what. Anyway, what they did this study in the 70s, back when there was still some sanity, and it was called the marshmallow test. And you can Google it, and it's very interesting. And they put these kids in a private booth with mirrors. They couldn't see anything out the window, and they put a marshmallow in front of them, and they said, okay, here Junior, here's a beautiful fluffy marshmallow that's so wonderful and yummy. If you eat this marshmallow before I get back, that's all you get. But if you wait till I get back to eat that marshmallow, guess what? You get two. Okay, this was a study on delayed gratification, and they used kids from the age of around 3 to about 5.5, all right? And they used the equal amount of girls to boys. And they watched this unfold. You know, the kids, it's really fun. They have videos where they're touching the marshmallow, they're licking the marshmallow. Some of them just lay their head on the table and fall asleep. Some of them gobble it up as soon as she walks out the door. But some of them wait. And this study was really, really interesting because the unexpected correlation to future success really blew their minds, all right? They checked in on the same kids who had the longest ability for delayed gratification versus the ones who gobbled that thing up right now. And they found that those kids, that the kids 10 years later were described by their parents as adolescents who were significantly more competent. In 1990, they did a follow-up study and showed that the ability to delay gratification also correlated with higher SAT scores. So basically, which is common sense, if you teach your kids that no, they can't have their dopamine hit right now, that they've got to wait. They've got to wait. Delayed gratification, endurance. Even when they don't get their way, even when success is delayed, they keep going. They don't give in. Even when it's unpleasant, they don't give in. So basically, those kids who are whining at the grocery store aisle, you know, when you're checking out and asking for something, whining, and they get it right now. You are teaching them you're teaching them not to delay their gratification. You're teaching them that right now they can have their dopamine hit. When they're whining and you run a movie right now, when they don't want to finish cleaning the bathroom and you say, oh, mommy, I'll do it for you. Right now, they're getting that hit of pleasure, okay? And we'll talk more about what parents can do tomorrow. But dopamine is inside the midbrain. It relates to the reward we receive for an action. Dopamine, it seems, was to do with desire, ambition, or addiction. Same sort of sensation you get when a fun email pops in or whatever. You get the picture. The test was for the kids, but the most important test is for us parents, isn't it? Because it's easier to give in. It's easier to say yes. It's easier to try to relieve the pain and the pressure of the tedium and the disappointment right now, but I want to encourage you to use the power in this parenting, in this mandatory home education time, this mandatory quarantine. Use the powerful parenting curriculum within there right now to help shape and form and sculpt, do that neural sculpting in your home this week and next week and however long this goes on. God bless you. Thanks for being here. Visit me at denisemira.com. I've got a really fun freebie for you. I'm going to talk more about that tomorrow, but it's all about raising happy kids who persevere while building teamwork in your house, and it will surely help you to build endurance and perseverance in your children to set them up for success. Thanks for being here. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. Have a wonderful day. Hugs and kisses. Okay. They're all women. Okay, these are all women that I see. Hugs and kisses. Bye-bye now.